It's time to talk Trey Hendrickson, Danny. The Commanders need to get back on the horn. Tell me why I'm wrong here. He is still angry. He still doesn't want to be a Cincinnati Bengal. He is saying things like, I won't play for you. Still, this moment, right now, as they're on the practice field this week for OTAs, he is saying he will sit out for as long as he can into the season and then probably come back and report so that he can still accrue the year. He's threatened to sit out the entire year. He wants nothing to do with playing for the Bengals. It's gotten personal. He has name-checked the head coach, saying that he was lied to by members of the staff. He hates the Bengals organization. Now, it might be that you could say, well, money's going to heal this. See Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett put out the big statement, I want to be traded. I don't want to be here anymore. But that was never personal. I don't think he disliked members of the staff or even the front office. He was not at odds with the Browns as much as he wanted to be paid. They hadn't paid him yet. He put out a statement. I thought that was leverage. And as soon as they were willing to pay him, funny, he no longer is prioritizing winning a Super Bowl.
My mind got changed.
This feels different than that. Mm-hmm. This feels like a guy in an organization that screws up player negotiations all the time, screws up relationships with players all the time. Constantly, we have guys, whether it was Jamar Chase last year or T. Higgins, and understandably, those guys have been paid. But because of that, it's less likely that Hendrickson on the other side of the ball will, because Joe Burrow makes a lot of money. I think this is a lame duck season. I think he's going into a year where he knows it and they know it. They're not going to get a deal done. It's over at the end of this year, and he doesn't want to do that. So there's an actual possibility where you could trade for him, and Washington should be the team that is making the most phone calls, showing the most desperation right now.
So remember, you're dealing with an irrational actor in Cincinnati. But that shouldn't change Washington's end of it. And here's what I mean. They're not going to do the predictable thing, like conventional wisdom back in the day when you were, for example, here in Washington, when Bruce Allen and Dan Snyder were in charge and you had a fight with Trent Williams, whether you thought you were right or not, you should probably fix it with Trent Williams. You know what I mean? Like, what's the upside? What's the incentive of getting into a contest with him and then trading him away for next to nothing and have him be an all-pro somewhere else? There was no upside there. Cincinnati operates in a similar way, less malicious up at the top, but it's more buffoonery. It's more, they're not going to do the right thing. It's more, this is how we run things, while the player is out there going, I hate your guts. I don't want to be here. You guys have screwed this up. Let me move on. They may not do the right thing here. They may just refuse. They may just play hardball. Who knows? That shouldn't change Washington's end of it, though. Or any team, frankly. Detroit should be calling. Philly should be calling. Anybody that's got a need that this dude could fill, that's got a Super Bowl window, 100% they should be in bothering Cincinnati about Trey Hendrickson.
17 and a half sacks last season led the NFL. The year before that, 17 and a half sacks again.
Is there consistency there at all?
He has had 13 and a half or more in 4 of 5 years. That is high-end Ryan Kerrigan production. Like, Kerrigan's best year ever is the floor for what Trey Hendrickson has done in 4 of the last 5 years. And I bring up Kerrigan not only because it's a fun little comp. I mean, they're similar type players.
We're the same jersey number.
Wearing number 91. High motor guys, I would say, coming off the edge. Just
Gym rats.
Toby. Right, exactly. But no, I mean, you have not had a pass rusher better than Kerrigan over the last 10 or 12 years, 15 years, whatever it is. Hasn't happened. He's the best you've had. His ceiling in terms of sack totals, pressures, hits on the quarterback is Trey Hendrickson's floor. Kerrigan was really good. Kerrigan was never elite. Kerrigan was never a DPOY. He had a 24 hit on the quarterback season one time, and otherwise never had 20 hits on the quarterback. And I'm not trying to knock Ryan Kerrigan, but 24 has been the floor of hits on the quarterback for Trey Hendrickson over the last 5 seasons in a row. This guy would be your best pass rusher in decades. It is very, very rare that you can get an elite football player. I'm not talking about a good one like Terry McLaurin. We've had some of those guys coming through DC. But I don't want Terry to catch shrapnel here. He's a really good player. I'm talking about an all-pro last year. I'm talking about a runner-up for player of the year on the defensive side, the equivalent of MVP. You got one on offense in Jaden Daniels now, it looks like. Go get one on defense. Having good players is a great thing. You've got some in Frankie Louvu in your linebacking core, Bobby Wagner in your linebacking core. When it's 72 and sunny, Daron Payne, but an 11.5 sack season as a D tackle. Hasn't done anything near that in the 2 years since. If it works out with Marshawn Lattimore and Adam Peters is right, he's a really good player. You got a bunch of those guys. Hopefully Sandra still is going to become that type of player. It looks like he's on that trajectory. There's no DPOY type on this team defensively. There isn't. There hasn't been in years. They haven't had a player, forget Defensive Player of the Year, be an all-pro defensively since Darryl Green in the early 90s when your boy was, chasing my dad around the kitchen and asking him to put on Power Rangers. Go get one. He's right there for the taking. He doesn't want to be in Cincinnati. They're willing to deal him. It's going to happen inevitably. Be the team harassing them on the phone. Every single time, whichever member of the Brown family is looking at their phone, because everyone's last name is the same. It's a big family operation, and it's embarrassing, and they do a terrible job. And they have for a long time. I guess that's the Bengals, right? That's Trey Hendrickson.
That's them, yeah.
And that's who's paying
That's what we're
him.
dealing with here.
It's the Browns. Those people, every time they answer their phones, Danny, I need them to go, oh, my God.
Another notification.
Adam Peters again. Are you kidding me?
This one's from Lance Newmark.
They need to be tired of seeing 703 on their cell phone. I want Adam Peters' name on the cell phone of Katie, whatever the daughter's
what's
name
her
is.
name? Katie, is it not Katie Brown?
I've seen her on Hard
name?
Knocks a bunch, like 3 different seasons. I need her to have don't answer as Adam Peters' name in her cell phone because she's so annoyed by him. Make it happen.
So I'm going to do my best to come up with arguments against. Okay.
Because before you do that, are you suggesting you agree with me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, there is a walkaway point. There's a point because Cincinnati they're irrational. They might ask for too much. They might be ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't give them 2 1s or
something crazy, right?
Yeah.
And there may be a contract demand that's too much. So the arguments against are this is a 30-year-old player who's, entering, you would think, the downslide of his career. Argument 2 is at some point you have to stop mortgaging the future. Now, I don't think you're at that point yet, but just bear with me. At some point, you've got to stop getting rid of future picks. You owe Houston for next year. You've paid it down. 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick in the 2026 draft for your new left tackle. I'll make that trade every time, by the way, please and thank you. But at some point, you've got to have more of your own homegrown. You're going to need all of the cap money to pay Jaden Daniels, and you need to start building the way Philadelphia, Kansas City, these elite programs do, where you have your own talent that's coming up through the ranks to take the place. The guy turns from an okay player to a good player to a stalwart for you, maybe even a star. So right now you don't have much in that regard. Your 2nd-round pick from last year, Ben Sinnott, is now behind on the depth chart to a guy that was almost out of football in Zach Ertz a couple of seasons ago. So at some point you need to have reinforcements happen. You've got to keep investing and find your own draft picks for cost-effective talent buttress to make this thing work for more than just one flare-up. So at some point, you have to do that. So here's my counter to those counters. I don't think you're there yet. There's going to be a year, probably 2 years from now.
Are you arguing with yourself right now?
Yeah, I'm basically saying, I'm talking about the counter arguments. There's going to be a time, eventually, where you go, you know what? We can no longer trade away draft picks. We have to start harvesting them. We have to start getting rid of some guys, making tough decisions too early, and adding picks because we have to supplement because our quarterback makes $80 million a year.
So
you're not there now.
Twofold on that. Other than that, you're not there now, which I agree with. Number 1, I would just say that you got to take advantage of the Jaden Daniels not making money window that is right here and right now. This is the time you're able to pay guys like Hendrickson $35 million a year. Because when he makes the money, it gets really hard. Kiss a $35 million edge rusher goodbye at that point in time. That's number 1. And number 2, I want to go back to your first point. He's 30 years old thing. Yes, he is. So is TJ Watt. Do you think TJ Watt's about to slow down all of a sudden? I don't. I mean, look at pass rushers. Pass rushers don't age badly. That is a position where you produce deep into your 30s. You know how many 10-plus sack? I'm just using 10 because it's the round number, double digits, whatever, respectable. But there were many seasons a lot better than 10. But do you know how many 10-sack seasons Bruce Smith had after he turned 30 years old?
I don't.
6. Actually, in his case, it was 7. You know how many Reggie White had after he turned 30 years old? 6. You go, oh, those guys are old, different era. Okay, fine. How many 10-sack seasons did Julius Peppers have after he turned 30 years old? 5. He had 11 and a half, 10 and a half. He had an 11-sack season at 37 years old, just like Reggie White, just like Bruce Smith. This is not a position where all of a sudden at 34 you can't do it anymore because there's some smarts to it. There's some acumen to it. You're setting guys up play by play. Do you lose a little twitch, a little wiggle, a little juice, maybe some speed, some bend? Sure, that's not really his game. He's strength, he's moves, he's there's some twitch, I'm sure, with him, but it's more Kerrigan than it is Junior Gillette, to use Washington parlance, over the years. So I don't worry about his age as a detriment. There's 4 or 5 years of runway out in front of him where he's still going to be really good. Is he going to have 17 and a half sacks and 27 hits on the quarterback next year? Maybe not. But he's going to have 14. He's going to have the best pressure rate on your defense. You go from a very average defense on paper that has a chance to be not very good to a legitimate defense like that. That's what one superstar does at that position. One elite defensive pass rusher is a ripple effect position. It helps everyone else on the D-line because you're taking attention away from them. It helps every player in your secondary because there's less obligation to cover because I'm getting home quicker. You can make the case, other than quarterback, there's not a single position where you affect more things around you.